If you're anything like me, you watch fun, adventurous stories on YouTube over DayZ and felt a sense of FOMO. However, before you log on, I'd like you to know the reality of the unforgiving, quiet, maybe even painful experience of DayZ. Here's the top 5 tips I wish I knew before starting DayZ. If you stick around to the end, we'll have a bonus tip to give you an edge over your competition. We're going to categorize these into 2 groups of tips. The first group, I can prepare you, but I can't help you. Well, what does that mean? That means that I can show you what's going to happen to you, but at the end of the day, you're still going to experience the pain, and at least you have a friend to go through it with. The second group, I can help you and prepare you. I wish I knew both categories before I jumped into the game. In the first group, we have tip number 1, map familiarities and navigation. You will get lost. This is inevitable in how big the map is, and you don't know what the heck's going on right when you land at the shore. What I would recommend is work your way inwards towards the map. So once you land on the shore, you're going to start seeing land go inwards. Head that direction and don't stop. You're going to want to find a trail or a train track. As you're going on the train track, you'll find rocks, which I'll tell you more about later in the video. But once you find a trail, you're going to want to follow that trail for as long as it leads you, as you have a high chance of going through towns, and you also won't make my mistakes, which is going backwards whenever you hit the trail. If possible, pull up the map on another monitor or another screen so that as you're going through towns and seeing signs, you can see where you're at. Tip number 2, interactions and player communications. This one I can prepare you for, but I can't help you. I recommend that you make friends. I don't think it's smart for you to make a bunch of enemies in the server. Friends make the game and surviving way easier and way more pleasant. When you're running around with a bunch of enemies on your back, it tends to get stressful. The part that I can't prepare you for in this is you will get betrayed. This is the nature of DayZ and the nature of people, is they'll gain your trust and stab you in the back. Tip number 3, combat and threat avoidance. In the beginning, you're going to want to take on every single person that you come across. You're either going to want to be friends with them, or your natural instinct is going to want to try to kill them. I recommend you get as far away from people as you can in the beginning so you can learn and understand the basic mechanics of the game. So the most important thing is, while you're going through openings, you're going to want to sway from side to side. You never want to run in a vertical line, as some of the times people are going to be watching you and sometimes even have a scope on your head while you're running, and they're waiting for the perfect moment for you to keep running straight, where they can dial in on your direction or where you stand still for a second. Use your lean mechanics. If you happen to get into a gunfight, use your lean mechanics. This is so powerful whenever you're playing. You either lean to the right or lean to the left, and while you're shooting, go back and forth so that they have a hard time hitting your head. All right, group number 2. This is where I can help you and prepare you. In the very beginning, the most important tool that you can get your hands on is a knife. There's multiple ways of getting a knife. This is something that you don't want to take lightly. The only way that you're going to survive in DayZ is if you get your hands on a knife. I promise you, if you do not get your hands on a knife, you will die. So knives can be found everywhere. As soon as you spawn, you're going to see train tracks. Go to the train tracks, head in any direction, and find 1 rock. If you can find 2 rocks, you can just combine them and make a knife really easily. The second most essential craft is a fireplace. In order to make a fireplace, you're going to break a long stick into smaller sticks and then combine them to craft a fireplace. You can also take that knife that you created, cut some bark, and combine it with a short stick. After you combine it with a short stick, now you have the ability to craft a fireplace or fire starting kit. My recommendation for food is the fishing rod. The fishing rod allows you access to food that you wouldn't find going through buildings. Whenever you start actually getting meat, your character starts to become more satisfied. It takes longer for you to become hungry. So how do you make a fishing rod? It's easy. All you need is a long stick, rope, combine them. Now you have a handcrafted fishing rod. Tip number 5, resource management. In the very beginning, your resources are everything, from the amount of stamina your character has to the space that your character has in your inventory, through the food and hunger and everything that your character must manage. All these things are vital in the very beginning. It's easy to want to run around everywhere so you can get everywhere quickly. Do not sprint. Whenever you see these 3 arrows pointing down, this is a bad indicator, and you need to stop what you're doing and backtrack. Once you spawn, you're going to spawn with food. Eat it straight away, as your character is going to be hungry, and it's just taking up unnecessary space in your inventory. As you're on your way and you crafted that knife that we talked about, when you're going through buildings and you find clothes, create rags with every piece of clothing that you can, so you have about 12 rags. And then create yourself rope, as the rope is going to be super essential. And the bonus tip, you're going to want to join a community and use your online resources such as Reddit, Discord, Twitter. Rally up with your friends and get ready to take over a server. This game is not easy, so the earlier that you pick it up with friends, the more that you can feed off of each other and mistakes and things that you're doing wrong. You'll also notice things that they're doing that you've never seen before, and so you'll be able to pick up the game and learn a lot faster than your competition. Thank you for watching to the end. If you enjoyed this content and found it helpful, hit the subscribe button. If you got value out of this, you'll probably enjoy the video on screen, so click here to watch.